Hello, welcome to another episode of Bot and Back, and today we are looking at Earthspark Soundwave. Now, I am very excited about this figure because I never thought I would have it. Never thought I would own it. I had given up because this figure was not distributed very well at all. Sometimes when a TV show is ending, that the last figures of that series are usually not distributed very well. I didn't really watch much of it. I only watched a couple episodes, but when I saw this Soundwave, I thought he looks amazing, and I really wanted to have him. But like I said, I gave up. Now, recently, I was on the Transformers trading subreddit. In my trading list, this guy was one of the things I was willing to trade for. And someone messaged me and said, I have Earthspark. Instantly, I'm like, okay, yes, absolutely, I will trade you for that. So I finally got to have a Soundwave, and I was very excited to get him. Now, when he did show up, I don't know what happened, but the moment I turned his head the first time, it just snapped in two. Like the part where the seam is here, it just popped off, and all I could see, the two halves fell apart, and there was just the ball joint. I did super glue it back on. He will turn his head still, but I'm kind of scared to force the issue. I don't want it to break again, so I'm pretty much going to just leave his head like that. I am sad that I was not as careful as I could have been putting the super glue on, so it's kind of smudgy in the back. This is not how the figure should look. That is my fault. But anyway, even with the issue with the head, I am just so happy to have this figure at all. I don't care. And he just looks so good. I love how he looks. I love his back. Like, okay, his legs look kind of weird, especially in the back. He kind of has the same problem that Age of the Prime Superion has when the aerial bots are on his back. It just sticks out way too far. But from the front, he just looks incredible. I just love him. I like how these extra wings are sticking out here. He's very stylized and angular, and I love it. And he's got his gun up here, like the original G1 Soundwave would have. You can also put this in his hand, so he can hold the weapon. But he holds it a little weird. Very weird, actually. And it won't go in any farther because of this top portion here. It just will not go in any farther. So you could have him hold it, but who would want to do that? It doesn't. It looks really weird. So I'm not even sure if it was meant to do that. Honestly, this post is what it does in alt mode is it goes in here, and I think that's the main reason this post even exists. So what you do is there's this tab here, and you put it on the back like that, and that's how he's going to stay for me, because it just looks a little too strange the other way. For the rest of his articulation, I would show you the head. Normally the head does go up and down like that. It normally would have the whole ball joint turning around, looking up and down, but because I super glued it, I can turn him a little bit if I want to be daring, but again, it's so tight, I don't want to take the chance of it snapping off again, so his head's pretty much going to stay like that. If you are able to somehow find one, I believe his head should have lots of posability on it, but for his arms, I'm going to swing these fins back, because if you don't... Okay, this is one of the issues I do have. This untabs way too easily on his back. It tabs into the back. Here, I'll push it in a little harder. Maybe it'll stay in. But otherwise, his arm can go all the way around. It has some very slight clearance issues. You got to pull his arm to the side to get it to go all the way around. But it will. It'll do that. His arm goes up all the way like that. He's got bicep swivel, and his elbow will bend that far, almost 90 degrees. There is even that his wrist has a swivel on it. It has a wrist rotation, and you can even do this with his hand if you want to, but that's for transformation. He has a waist swivel, and his legs go all the way out, and they will kick up that far, and they will bend over 90 degrees. Only thing that's really getting in the way is this fin here. I think it would probably bend even more if it wasn't for that. Oh, maybe not. I don't know, but that's still a very nice bend. And it will rotate at the knee as well. And he has some good ankle tilt. It'll tilt down here, but it also will tilt like this as well. So lots of good room for some nice posing, I think. Yeah, he poses really nicely. He's got very good articulation, honestly. And what I really like is on the back. It's pretty kibble free if you look at it. Really not a lot of weird stuff sticking out. I think it's pretty clean. Like, yeah, this sticks out a little bit, but overall, he just looks really sleek. Again, the main problem I have is the back of his legs. If I had one criticism, the other thing that I guess is sad if I was being super picky is he is Soundwave, and maybe you kind of would like to have some kind of cassette thing to go in there. But you know what? I really don't care. End of the day, that would be being super nitpicky. But otherwise, I think he just looks fantastic. I love the color of his blue, the color blue he has. I like the paint apps. I like the little touches of silver. I love how his visor is red. And it's almost, his face looks almost like the Decepticon logo, I think. Looks very much like it. But I like his weapon. I think that looks cool. But overall, yeah, I love him. I think he looks great. I always really like when there is an alt mode that's not the cassette recorder. Just because I feel like it's kind of dated and just you don't even really see cassette recorders anymore. I think it's cool. I loved it when it first came out. And I still, I have a Soundwave that turns into a recorder. Okay, let's do some size comparisons for the robot mode. We will start with Cliff Jumper. I don't remember where he's from. Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom. I don't know. But there he is. There he is with Cliff Jumper. Not too much taller than him. Another mold of Sideswipe. Yeah, I'd say he's a deluxe size. He's pretty much exactly the same size as Sideswipe. So that's a very close comparison between those two. And here he is with Studio Series Optimus Prime, recolor, knockoff, but he's exact same size as the official. And that's how they stack up together. And finally, let's look at him with Legacy Soundwave. It's so funny how different they are. Like, it's a Soundwave, but I just really like what they did with him. Just such a nice, modernization of him. Like, this is a nice classic Soundwave. He's fun, but this is so cool. I just love this new version of him. And just seeing them side to side like this is kind of funny. Like, you can see what they did to make him obviously a Soundwave, but then updating him. And there we go. That's how they stack up. Let's transform him. So the first thing we want to do is we remove his gun from his back. And then we're going to flip his chest down and just move his head back and close it again. Next thing we want to do is let's move his shoulders up and they will tab together. There we go. We're going to take his fists and we're going to move them down like so on both sides. Now the next thing we want to do, you see this little slot here? Same thing for here. We have these slots. We want those slots to face towards his waist. So we want to, or the side of his torso, we want them to be facing this way. And the reason for that is, okay, first of all, let's get this guy out of the way. We're going to untab his back, and we're going to just turn it around like that. And that'll help give us a little bit of space here to see what we're doing. So, like I said, there's this slot here, and there's a tab here. We want those to connect. And here, it's easier to see it from this side. Okay, I should have left this the other way. You know what I'm going to do? I think it's easier to pull the backpack like this, and it's easier to see what you're doing with this tab. So I feel like you still can't really see it too well, but there. I tabbed it in. We're going to do the same thing on this side, and we're going to turn the backpack out of the way so we can see it better. There's our tab. And there's our slot right there. And they're going to go together like that. And you know what? Honestly, sometimes it does not stay in very well. And there's a reason for that, because you're going to have to do some stuff with these tabs later on. And we're going to get to that very soon. So we want this to be this way now. Let's just push it up and get it out of the way. We're going to go down here and look at the legs. So we're going to rotate the torso around. And let's start with this leg. We're going to untab and unfold all the wings, like so. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up like that. And if you look here, there's a slot here and here. There's also a slot up here. And if you look at them here, there is a tab here. Yeah, I'm going to use this sword to point at stuff. There's a tab there, and there's a tab here. There's a little tiny tab there. So those three things are going to be the tabs that go into these three slots. And it can be a little tricky getting them lined up just right. But when you do, and this is what I was talking about, when you try to push these in, sometimes this part that we tabbed in earlier comes undone. But because I'm recording, it's going smooth as butter, which is what always seems to happen. So that's all tabbed in, and it's nice and solid. Once it tabs in, it's good, and I have never had any problems with it. So let's do the same thing for the other side. We're going to take this other leg, unfold everything. Let's not worry about the foot just yet. And then we're going to just bring this up, and we're going to tab all those parts in on the other side as well. Put that on there. So it'll look like that. Everything's tabbed in. Give this a little squeeze to make sure that once the shoulders are tabbed together. I hate it when there's like just a little sliver of light showing through, showing it's not together all the way, because I'm very anal about that. But anyway, it's fine. So then we take the ends of these wings and flip them out. Same to the other side. Come on. Go. There we go. Flip that out. And then we just push this down. And there's like a very soft tab where we push that into place. And then you can fold the wings here however you like. You can have them like that. I much more prefer that they look like this. Now the feet, okay, so what you're supposed to do technically, supposed to fold the feet down and just push them in like that. And I guess that looks fine. I have seen people also, you can push it out to there. And I think that looks okay as well. Some people will put it really far back and out of the way. And I think that's, I don't know, that's growing on me as well, just because it kind of gets out of the way. I'm weird. I think it looks kind of cool just out like that. I feel like, I don't know, it looks like it's like engines or something on him. So I like to do that. But the way that you're technically, the most common way I've seen of transforming him is having the feet in there. So we'll do that. But look at that. Look how sleek and cool, and look how flat he is. Now the back, okay, it's kind of obvious that's his body all folded up, but still, that looks great. Very stylized and angular, and I just love how they did this. And this is the other thing that sold me when I saw his alt mode. It just looks great. It looks like a big boomerang. So then you can take his weapon, just shove it in there, and that looks pretty cool too. So I love it. I think it looks great. I think it's kind of cool. He's a stealth bomber or a stealth plane, because Soundwave is supposed to be like the spy character. So it makes sense to me that he would be a stealth plane. I think it's perfect, and I think he looks great. The paint, it's a little plain. I should look into Toy Hacks and see if they have some toy hacks for this guy. But I think he looks great. I like the colors. It's a little plain. He could use some stuff on his wings and all along here. But where they do have colors, I really just love the red and the silver and the blue and the contrast. So, love him. Okay, let's do some size comparisons for his Stealth Fighter alt mode. First up, we have Bumblebee, Studio Series Bumblebee, who always rolls away. There we go. He stayed with us that time. Next here he is with Armada Wheeljack. Here he is with Studio Series Optimus Prime. He's so long. It's hard to fit everybody in with him. Yeah, let's do that, I guess. But I mean, just to give you an idea how long he is. Here, I'm going to pick the camera up. Yeah, he's a lengthy boy. And finally, here he is with, gosh, is this Legacy Soundwave? I always forget. There's so many different versions of them. But there he is with the Legacy Soundwave. So let's transform him back. We're going to pull off his gun here. And let's untab the backpack and pull it up a little bit. And we're just going to pull the feet out a little bit as well. We're going to fold these wings back in on both sides. And then we're going to, it's much easier to untab this than to tab it. So we're going to untab both of the legs like so. Bring them down. And then when we bring them down, we're going to fold. Okay, let's get the feet completely out of the way like that. We're going to fold this up. And then when we fold it down, there's a tab here and a slot here. That's going to tab in like that. And then his leg is actually all done. There's so much stuff sticking out. I forget that that's how it's supposed to be, and I feel like I have to do more, but you don't. So let's turn it that way. Same thing for the other side. Get the foot down. Bring that up. Fold that down. And then just turn it like that. And we're all set. Just turn the waist around. We have his legs. Now let's do his arms. Again, much easier to untab this than to tab it. So untab that and bring his arms up. His fist down, that up. And we're just going to pull these apart and bring them down. And turn his arms to... Oh, there, I went the long way. Just bring his arms in like that. Now, on his back, we're just going to twist this. We're going to rotate this around. And we're going to tab this tab into a slot that's right above his Decepticon symbol. And give it a good push so it stays in there, because it can come loose. And we can fold the wings flat if you like. You could put them back if you'd like, and they're less visible from here. But I like them being visible. I like them showing up. I think they kind of look extra cool being back there. And now we simply bring out his chest, bring his head out, fold the chest back up, and then we just attach his weapon again to that tab. And there we go. Back to robot mode. It's a pretty simple transformation, but I think it's interesting, and I like it. It's not overly simple. The only other thing I would say that's a little frustrating is he tends to be a little back heavy, and he could use some heels. Which, as far as I can see, there's no heels that I'm missing for me to flip out. You basically just have these guys here to act as heels, and sometimes it's just not enough. But otherwise, he looks really great. I love this figure. I wish he was easier to get. Have you guys had trouble getting him? Were you able to find him? Are you still on the hunt for him? Let me know. I hope that you guys had luck in being able to procure this figure, because he is great. So anyway, wrapping this up, I am very happy with this figure. I'm so happy I was able to find it. I hope if you're looking for it that you can find it as well. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.